Hi, this video is Thursday, March 26th math lessons. Today for math 65, we're continuing with adding and subtracting decimals. So we're going to review some things. Today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting decimals with whole numbers. But here's what we remember when we're adding or subtracting decimals. Number one is to line up the decimal points, and that's what we've been talking about for our past two lessons. We just make sure that they are in line. And now this is just for adding and subtracting decimals. Second thing is if one of the numbers are whole numbers, you're just going to place a decimal point at the very end of it because it doesn't change the value. And then number three is to fill in empty spaces with zeros. So the exact same things we've been talking about are what we're going to be working on today. Right here, I have 3 minus 1 and 23 hundredths. So when I set that up, I put my whole number, and then because it's larger, it's not always going to be the larger number, but in this problem it is 1 and 23 hundredths. And then I'm going to pin a decimal point to the end of my whole number because it's still a whole number. It doesn't change any of the value. And then I'm going to fill in with zeros. And we've talked about the reason we have to do this because I cannot take 3 and just bring it down. That's not what this is asking. So I need to take 3 from 0, which I can't do. So I'm going to come over and borrow, making that a 2. Turn that into a 10, but I still need to borrow, so that becomes a 9, and this becomes a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 2 is 7. We bring our decimal point straight down. 2 minus 1 is 1. So we have 1 and 77 hundredths. And that is just reviewing everything we have learned so far this week. For your practice problems, Math 65, you're the only ones who need to do these. In your book, I just want you to do the left column of your practice problems. So it goes A, B, C, D. You will be doing A, C, E, G, I. A, C, E, G, I. Those are what I want you to do for your practice problems. And they are all just what we've been working on. And then you have set 113, which would be odd. And you'll need to do number 12 as well if you are on half sets. So that is all today. And you guys, if you're having any questions, please send me an email. I can review it in the videos, or I can message you back personally. Just let me know if you need help on this. We will be taking a test tomorrow, Friday. So we definitely need to review anything you have any questions on. Math 76, today we're going to talk more about ratios and solving problems when we have totals but not other parts of the ratio. So sometimes they'll give us numbers and we can figure out the total, and then we have to work back from that to figure out the missing information. For example, let me read you this problem. The ratio of boys to girls in a class was 5:4. Remember, in a ratio, you write it in the order it says, in the order that they're asking. If there were 27 students in the class, how many girls were there? Okay, so here's what I have. I have the ratio of 5 boys to 4 girls. The actual, we know that there's 27 total students in the class because that's the information they gave us. 5 plus 4, we can find the ratio total by just adding those together. Okay, so that's what I have so far set up. We're going to use 2 of the 3 rows to help solve the problem. One of the rows that we have to use, we want to make sure is one that has both, the information filled out for both of them. And then we're going to use the row that gives us what we're looking for. So we use the row we want to complete. And then we use the row that's already complete. So the row that's already complete is this one. Let's re-ask the question so we can see which one we need to complete. The ratio of boys to girls in a class was 5:4. If there were 27 students in the class, how many girls were there? Okay, so we're figuring out how many girls are in the class. So we're going to use the information of the row with the girls. I will take the 2 boxes that I need to set up my information. So 4/9 my ratio is equal to girls over 27. And that is how you would set that problem up. Okay, from this point, we are going to cross multiply. So we will have 9g, which is 9 times g, is equal to 4 times 27. 4 times 27, let me write it, let me erase this so I have a little more room. 27 times 4, 7 times 4 is 28. 8 times 2, sorry, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So we have 108, so we have 9g equals 108. Now I need to get girls by themselves, right? So this is multiplication. I'm going to divide. 9 divided by 9, we'll cancel those out. And then I'm going to do 108 divided by 9. 108 divided by 9. Okay, 9 goes into 10 one time. 1 times 9 is 9. Subtract. Bring down, we have 18, 9 goes into 18 12 times. So my ratio of boys to girls is I have, how many girls were there? I have 12 girls. Okay. Here's another ratio problem. The ratio of football players to band members on the football field was 2 to 5. Altogether, there were 175 football players and band members on the field. How many football players were on the field? So to set up my ratio box, I have my ratios, my actual, football players, band members total. Let's read that again. The ratio of football players to band members on the football field was 2 to 5. Okay, 2 plus 5 is 7. Altogether, there were 175 football players and band members. How many football players were on the field? Okay, so we're gonna have football and band. Now we use the complete row and then the row that we need to find the information on. So we end up with 2/7 is equal to football players over 175. Okay? And then we are going to cross multiply. We have 7f is equal to 2 times 175. 175 times 2, okay? That equals 350. So we now have 7f, I'm gonna make that lower so it's easier to read, equals 350. We have to get 7 by itself, so we crossed out the 7. Now we have 350 divided by 7. 7 can't go into 3. 7 goes into 35 how many times? 5. 5 times 7. There's not much room. Subtract, bring down, and since I brought down a number, I do have to continue through. Excuse me, 7 goes into 0, 0 times 50. So there are 50 football players on the field. All right, I want you guys, Math 76, to do the practice problems right before your set A and B. There are 2. And I want you to give me your answers for the missing part of the ratio that they want you to figure out. Once again, let me know if there's any questions. You have 113, which is odds. If you're on half sets, you will have number 2 as well. So make sure that if you're on half sets, you're doing odds and number 2. And that should be all.